Before we unlock the future, we must find the keys to the past. I'm Leonard Nimoy. Join me and open the door to ancient mystery beginning now. After 3,000 years, a pharaoh still sleeps. He was one of the many kings to rule the civilization of ancient Egypt, but he was one of only two to reign for over half a century. His land is now long lost, but his memory lingers on. Exactly who was Ramses II? And why did he create more monuments for himself than any other king to rule the land? Was he the pharaoh responsible for the exodus of the Jews out of Egypt? And what fueled the passion that made him father well over 90 children? Then, how does the sensational discovery of the 1990s, known as the tomb of KV5, relate to this elusive pharaoh? There are many questions still unanswered. Yet one thing is certain. The man behind the mystery was known to his people as Ramses II. But today, this is the pharaoh known as Ramses the Great. In 1290 BC, Ramses II began his reign. This was the period in Egyptian history known as the New Kingdom, and by that time the country was already well established. The hieroglyphs had long since been in use. The pyramids of Giza were already over 1,000 years old, and a religious system that included many seemingly strange gods had become the focus for a population with an unwavering belief in life after death. There had been many pharaohs before Ramses, and there would be many to follow, but very few would match the amount of time he spent as the king of Egypt. For almost 67 years, Ramses II's presence was a dominant force within the civilization. Unlike many of his predecessors, Ramses II was born a non-royal. His family was part of the Egyptian military. But when his grandfather and namesake, Ramses I, was appointed chief minister to the childless pharaoh Horemheb, the young Ramses II was then in line to inherit the throne. In 1306 BC, Horemheb died, leaving the kingdom to Ramses I, and so began the 19th dynasty. This was a prosperous time in Egypt's history. It is known as the civilization's golden era, and during this period, its rulers tried to ensure a firm position by maintaining Egypt's stability both inside and out of the borders. The lost land had undergone some major upheavals throughout the ages, and one of the most devastating happened during the 18th dynasty. It was at that point that Egypt's most powerful unifier, religion, was considerably changed. The pharaoh known as Akhenaten had tried to enforce a belief system where the various Egyptian gods would be abandoned for the worship of one god, Aten. Akhenaten tried to show his divine connection to the deity in ancient Egyptian reliefs like this one. Here, Aten is seen as a sun disk